Part 2 of our 80s review of Only Fools and Horses for its 40th anniversary now, and we're on to Series 4, which began on the 21st of February 1985. Grandad doesn't appear in the first episode of the series, and is mentioned as being in hospital. This is sadly because Leonard Pierce died in 1984, and rather than recast the part, John Sullivan wrote Grandad's death into the series, and in the second episode, Strange Relations, we see the boys attend his funeral and meet Grandad's brother, Uncle Albert, played by Buster Merrifield. This was a touching episode, and is testament to John Sullivan's abilities as a writer that he and the cast can make a funeral episode both moving and funny at the same time. Uncle Albert was a great replacement, and he slots into the series effortlessly. We soon find out he is very much a trotter. In the third episode, Hole in One, with the boys short of money, Albert falls down the cellar door of the lads' local pub, the Nag's Head, run by Mike, played by Kenneth MacDonald, and they try to sue the brewery, only to find out that Albert has done this on numerous occasions over the years, and another get-rich-quick scheme bites the dust. Series 4 has many strong episodes. It's Only Rock and Roll sees Rodney's dreams of being a pop star dashed by Del, only for his band colleagues, including a young David Thewlis, to succeed without him. In Sleeping Dogs Lie, the boys agree to dog-sit Boycie and Marlene's Great Dane Dookie, only to get his vitamin pills and Albert's sleeping pills mixed up.
You've been giving Dukey his sleeping pills.
Christmas Day 1985 saw the first feature-length special When the Trotters Go to Holland Back, smuggling diamonds from Amsterdam.
We're going to Holland, Runners. We're going to Holland.
Could this be one of the best ever Only Fools and Horses episodes? It has a fantastic story, Slater is back, and it's a classic trotter tale as they are so close to success. Del agrees to smuggle diamonds for Boycie and Abdul for £15,000, and after getting stuck in the back of Denzel's lorry, he decides to go by boat as Slater has all the airports covered. Assuming that old sailor Albert would know how to get them to Amsterdam, they get him to skipper, only to realise he has no idea what he's doing. After asking directions from an oil rig, the trotters reach Amsterdam and complete the deal with the contact Van Cleef for the diamonds using fake money from Boycie. A near miss with the police, and they set south for England only to get lost again. They arrive back at the Nag's Head and are caught by Slater, who lets them go and keeps the diamonds, Slater having been working with Van Cleef all along. The tables are turned on Slater as he is caught in possession after a sting from his superiors with the help of his detective constable, Hoskins, played by Christopher Mitchell. The trotters return to their flat in Nelson Mandela House, and it's revealed that they have managed to keep 2 of the diamonds for themselves. A rare moment where they still come out of the situation well, but Rodney has also managed to get hold of the £15,000, which Del and Albert presume Slater had taken. As ever, they don't quite succeed, as Del throws the 15k out of the window, believing it to be fake, when, in actual fact, it was real.
What is your name?
What is your name? What is your... He's winding me up.
Yes, that is Albert speaking German. The 31st of August 1986 saw the beginning of Series 5 with a great episode From Prussia with Love, where Del tries to sell a baby to Boycie and Marlene. It's a lot funnier than it sounds. Del proves his heart is in the right place after criticism from Rodney, and the deal doesn't go through.
We're going to Australia.
Yeah, well, just see the end of this first.
Series 5 ends with what could have been the final ever Only Fools and Horses. In Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, Del and Rodney have the opportunity to move to Australia to work with Del's old partner, Jumbo Mills, played by Nick Stringer. Del gave Jumbo money to move to Australia, and now Jumbo is back to repay his debt. Everything is going well until Rodney is rejected by the Australian authorities due to his conviction for possession of marijuana. The audience is left in doubt as to whether Del will still go, but in the end he stays, unable to leave his brother he cares for so much, but clearly upset that a big opportunity has passed him by. In reality, David Jason had told John Sullivan he was leaving the series, but thankfully changed his mind, which meant Sullivan had to rewrite the ending. If he had left, the series was going to be renamed Hot Rod, with Rodney and his friend Mickey Pierce, played by Patrick Murray, taking over Trotter's independent traders. David Jason's growing popularity and being in demand for roles elsewhere could be why there wouldn't be another series until 1989, but in the meantime, fans would get 3 feature-length Christmas specials to keep them going. In 1986's A Royal Flush, Rodney has befriended the aristocracy. Del senses the chance to earn from this and ingratiate himself in the upper classes, and encourages Rodney to romance the young lady he has met.
Would you like these, sir?
No, I can't listen to music while I'm shooting.
Rodney is reluctant, and it comes to a head when Del invites himself to a country retreat and humiliates Rodney. The episode does feel somewhat out of character for Del, but it does prove what a good shot he is. The next special, The Frog's Legacy, aired on Christmas Day 1987, and Del and Rodney are searching for their inheritance from Freddy the Frog, Rodney's father, although they don't know this yet. This feels more like an extended episode rather than a special, but has some great moments, including a wonderful guest appearance from Carry On star Joan Sims. Ultimately, they are unsuccessful in finding the loot, as the money is buried at sea, Freddy the Frog being named that as he was a frogman rather than lover of all things French. 1988's Christmas special is Dates, and is extra special as we meet Raquel, played by Tessa Peake-Jones for the first time, and of course she would go on to be the love of Del's life. After seeing Trigger with a good-looking woman, Del decides to try computer dating. He meets Raquel and they hit it off, although both are lying to each other about themselves, Del calling himself Derek Duval and pretending to be a successful businessman, while Raquel says she is an actress. This is a more Del-centric episode, but Rodney is dating too, with nervous Neris. Mickey Pearce has convinced Rodney that Neris likes hard men. The stripper Del hires for Albert's birthday turns out to be Raquel, and Del feels embarrassed and calls it off. After a change of heart, he realises Raquel is the one for him, and on his way to stop her leaving, he is arrested and thwarted from sharing his feelings. The 80s are almost over, and on the 8th of January 1989 we got a new series. Yuppie Love kicks off Series 6. The episode is focused more on Rodney's love life after the last special was about Del, and Rodney meets Cassandra, played by Gwyneth Strong, at an evening class. Rodney believes Cassandra is from a higher class, and feeling embarrassed of his family and Nelson Mandela House, he gets her to drop him off after a night out at a posh house, only for him to have to walk back home in the rain. The episode has become most famous for one scene in particular. Del has become a yuppie, or at least what he thinks is a yuppie, and while in a wine bar with Trigger trying to impress Eurobirds, we get this classic moment.
I think we're on a winner here, Trig. All right? Play it nice and cool, son. Nice and cool, you know what I mean?
The last series of the decade is very strong, with episodes like Danger UXD, where the boys get stuck with exploding blow-up dolls, and The Unlucky Winner Is, which sees Del enter one of Rodney's paintings in a competition, and it wins them a holiday for 3. Unfortunately, Rodney has won the under-15s category, and has to spend a week in the Groovy Gang, while Cassandra poses as his stepmom.
And this one's for young Rod. He's a big lad, isn't he?
The series ends with little problems, and Rodney is getting married to Cassandra. Del has promised him money for his wedding present as a deposit for a flat, but he is in debt to the local gangsters, the Driscoll brothers, played by Roy Marsden and Christopher Ryan. Del can either give the money to the Driscolls and avoid a beating, or give it to his brother. Of course, Del shows his inherently decent character and gives the money to Rodney and receives it hiding from the Driscolls. It's a touching episode, as Del now realises that Rodney has grown up and doesn't need him as much. So the decade ends with the Jolly Boys outing, and the Trotters and their mates are on a Beano to Margate. Rodney now has a job with Cassandra's dad Alan, and Albert has been promoted. Rodney is concerned about how close Cassandra and her bank job boss are getting, but he puts it to one side for the holiday. Before they get there though, Rodney is arrested by the police after accidentally kicking a football at a policeman. Then their coach driver is too intoxicated to continue the journey. Things look bleak until Denzel takes over driving, as he isn't drinking due to his disease. They arrive in Margate and have a great time. Just as they are getting ready to go home, disaster happens.
But I think it's unfair to say that everything he touches goes wrong.
Stuck in Margate and unable to get home, they all try to find accommodation, and the Trotters end up in somewhere that Rodney describes as the Munsters weekend place. They go out on the town and wind up in a nightclub where there is a magic act on stage, and one half of the act is Raquel. After a misunderstanding, Del ends up hitting the magician, and despite initially being angry, Raquel thanks him for it as her boss was a bully. With a new coach, they return home and Rodney punches Cassandra's boss, who is in their flat. not realising his wife was there too. Del and Raquel make plans to meet, and Rodney ends up back in Nelson Mandela House after being chucked out by Cassandra. After missing out when the series began in 1981, the closing credits finally get the Chaz and Dave treatment as they rework one of their classic songs, Margate, for Only Fools and Horses, which has been playing in the background. So that was our review of Only Fools and Horses in the 80s, arguably the best years of the programme. It was immensely popular and had amazing viewing figures, the likes of which we probably won't see again. The series remains as funny now as it was then. And here's that great closing theme we promised back in part 1.
No income tax, no VAT, no money back, no guarantee. Black or white, rich or poor, we'll cut prices at a straw. God bless Hookie Street, viva Hookie Street, long live Hookie Street, same and defeat Hookie Street.